The all wood boxes a lot of times will have a really good sound, really cool sound to them. The bigger boxes sometimes are better acoustic, and then when it comes to the electric thing, that's just up in the air. I mean, once you put a pickup in it, you get all kinds of different sounds out of different boxes and the different sound holes and stuff, or how the air inside the box and how the neck sounds in it. So okay, now got 3 strings. And I usually do the middle of the road one first and string it through, which will be the one that's a 26.
Those strings are all the same gauge? They're all the same gauge?
No. There's 3. It just depends on where you want to be most of the time on sound and how you're set up. I do a lot, like I said, I do a lot of open G, DG, and I'll do 26, 36, and 46 or in that neighborhood. You can vary a couple thousandths on the strings, and you're usually really good. This is a little bit lighter. I did a 17 on the low end, a 26, and a 36. So just to get a little bit higher. Take the string. I got the 3 little washers. I put a little washer over the end of the string and run it down to the end, so it doesn't pull through the wood. Otherwise, you'll pull the end of the string will pull right through the wood when you tune it. Just run through the hole, and then on the middle string I always go to the end, your farthest tune or on your center string. I'm not going to really get into the whole thing about how to string guitars, because that's a whole nother deal there. I usually try and make quite a bit. I usually measure from my thumb up and try and get that much play, because that usually gives me enough wrap to wrap the strings around the tuner and stuff when I'm putting them on. Okay, now I'll usually take and put the nut underneath and set the nut in the slot and just position that center string on it.
Nothing else holds the nut there?
No, just the screws. I mean, the tension, I'll put these little screws in that'll hold the string. Other than that, that's all I put in. I do nuts sometimes. On this, you have a little bit different problem with the wrap over your nut. On a lot of my necks, I have a offset, and I'm cut out, so I don't have to do a lot of stuff to try and hold a string tree to hold it down, because I already have quite a bit of wrap over my nut already. So on this, I just use the dowel. For the bridge, you can use another bolt. You can use whatever you want, depending on how high you want your string off your fretboard, and you can just put it back about where your nut's going to be by the mark for the time being. And put the high string on, or the low string I should say, before I end up getting messed up and put the wrong string on the wrong side of the box, and it'll be a left-handed guitar. That block. We'll try that one. All right. Got my washer. I don't know how long I forget to put the washer on every now and then. Well, don't matter any.
Can you adjust the action by cutting the bridge in?
Yeah, sometimes I'll cut if I use a dowel or whatever I'm using. It just depends on what I'm using for.
Or would you use a smaller dowel?
You can, yeah. And then the same way with the nut, you can just keep on cutting out so you can drop your string height. It's, you know, going to be however you want it set up, you know. So. Third string in. Bring the tuner over here.
Tuner.
Yeah, it's laying on the table over there.
By ear.
I wrap, there's all different kind of ways of putting the strings on. I wrap them from the inside of tuners on a lot of these, just like they would be on a regular guitar, but I've got some over there I've done the other way around. Sometimes you get a little bit different angle on your string over the nut that way. Like I said, it's not the way everybody else would do it, but in the guitar world, the cigar box guitar world, you look, people string them all different kinds of ways, and it's whatever works for everybody and whatever sounds cool, I guess. But it works that way. All right, now got all three of our strings on. Now I have 3 little screws that we're going to put on right on the other side of the nut, just the direct this act like a string tree to pull your strings over the nut so they don't pop off and move, and the spacing changes on them because of the angle that you got coming off your tuners. You gotta have something to hold it, especially because there's not enough wrap to go over to pull it tight against the threads. So that way you can use.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you can almost use this little. If you ever get one of these kits, I did the string tree thing is pretty close to where the strings would be, but I just line them up and space them however I want them. The 3 strings spaced on the neck, and then just drill a hole next to it and put your screw in it, and then just tighten it down to where it just the head of the screw just holds the string and holds it down over the wrapping around the nut a little bit. And you don't want it too tight because it'll mess up your tuning and you'll have a lot of drag. So. Use another 16-inch drill bit to do those little holes. Sometimes you got, depending on the bolt, you got sometimes you tap them to seat them in the wood a little bit. It makes the threads sit in.
Popular 25 Churchill is the most popular cigar size.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't pay much attention to it. I mean, if somebody smokes a lot of cigars, I don't smoke cigars. I just build guitars out of them. And sometimes I see all these cool boxes. I have no idea what the heck the cigar even looks like that comes in them. Okay. And like I say, just take and put it wherever you want your string spacing. If you want them wide, you want them narrow. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. It just depends on preference on how you want to play.
And you have the bass string at the top, the heavier string at the top.
Yeah. Set up for the regular. It's set up the way a regular guitar would be set up. And if you were left-handed, and like I am, and I don't play left-handed, I play right-handed. You just switch them around. And that's one thing that's kind of easy about the whole thing is if you want to make it a left-hand guitar, all you got to do is take the strings off and string it the other way. I mean, it's going to play just the same. Do the center one.
Credit card over there, Ted?
Yeah, I do. If you want to be doing this stuff and do booze, like I did Hunsaders, and I've done a bunch of music festivals and different things. It's you almost can't survive without taking a credit card anymore. You got to have the square or something, because not everybody's got cash in their pocket. Good. Just a little bit of wrap on it, just a little bit of tension on it is all you need with that. These are just take and snip the strings off so they're work.
Boxes, cardboard boxes, or sometimes they have paper.
There's plywood. This one, I mean, this I'm not sure what all is in this. You can't see when they got the paper over them. But even some of the ones that are cardboard, you know, the pressed wood kind of thing, they sound good. I mean, they don't sound as good as the other wood stuff does, but like I said, it's it's just like the kids making instruments out of cereal boxes and all this other stuff. I mean, it all sounds pretty cool, you know. All right, let's put the tuner on it and tune it real quick, and then we'll see where we're at. A lot of times I'll mark on the side of the neck. You can mark where your nuts, where the measurement is for your nut. Just put a little dot or something, and then if you want to play around with intonation, you can move it. You can mark the side of the neck and mark the marks on the side, so it's easier for you to see the frets on them. You can put the fret markers on, put fret dots on them, or I put thumbtacks on sometimes for fret markers for the 12th fret. You can do whatever you want to do with it. It's kind of a preference on whatever you want to play with. Oh, I do. Yeah, I have quite a few that I build with frets. For some reason, the last month or two, I've done shows and stuff, and I don't have a lot of stuff with frets right now. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm building with frets in, and as a matter of fact, I got some Christmas presents I'm building to ship next week that I'm doing fretted necks on right now.